Hey everybody, it's Lori Wetzel here with the next installment of Tech Tip Tuesdays. And this week I am going to focus on an app that is called Haiku Deck. And Haiku Deck is a free app. And if you've ever had to sit through a PowerPoint presentation, whether it was given by a student or an adult for that matter, that was packed with lots and lots of text, lots of bullet points, and it was basically read to you off the slides. Haiku Deck is a nice option that you may want to consider for creating presentations of your own and having students create presentations. Haiku Deck is a very simplistic sort of app. It forces its users to focus on content. There's no fancy transitions, there's no fancy animations. Users are limited as to how much text they can have on each slide, and users are really encouraged to use powerful images to tell a story. And rather than having someone who is giving a presentation reading information off of a slide, in particular our students, it forces kids to include just the really important information and present the information themselves. One advantage to Haiku Deck is that while the presentation is created using the app, once it's finished, it can be shared and it can be viewed on any device with internet access. So with that, I'm going to show you some of the things that Haiku Deck can do. The first thing you're going to do is create an account, and I have already done that. And in order to start a new presentation, you look for this plus sign in the bottom middle of your screen, and I'm going to go ahead and tap on that, and that's how I create a new deck. I'm not going to be overly creative with my idea here, so I will apologize for that in advance. And this, of course, could be any sort of presentation that you or your students might have to do. I've typed in a title and it begins loading my slides. You have an option of a number of different themes, and the themes can be found using this little pull down right here, so I'm going to tap on it. And when it comes to these themes, 5 of them are free, these first 5 that you see. Anything farther over to the right does cost money, and really the themes just have to do with the font that is used, and that's really about it. So the 5 themes should do just fine. I'm going to go ahead and just choose a different one. I'll call it cinematic. This that you see right here, if I tap off of the theme button, is my very first slide. And if you want to add additional slides, which I will demonstrate, you're going to tap on this button over here in the bottom right-hand corner. I'm going to first start with my text. It tells you right there, tap to edit. So this is my title slide. I'm going to call it All About Dogs, and I'm going to put a subtitle by me. I could have also done that by tapping on this orange text icon as well. Either way will work. You have the choice of having a 1 or 2 line text slide. If you don't include anything in the second line, it just won't show up. You also have the choice of a bulleted list or a numbered list, but the amount of content is definitely limited. I'm going to skip that middle icon for a moment and go down to the next icon down, which is the green layout icon. And you do have the choice of where this text goes. So right now it's a title right in the center, but I can arrange this text in whatever way I want on my slide. You also have the option, as you see right here, for text background, on or off. Right now it's on, and you can see that darker gray in the background. If I turn it off, you don't see that background color behind the text. So really, it's up to you. I'm going to go over to the blue icon, which is the image icon, and there's a lot of neat features here, and I'm going to start with the basics. If you go to this icon right here, directly under where it says theme, this is basic, select a solid color background. So I'm going to choose a solid colored background. And this slide, I'm going to turn the background, text background on. This slide is done. I've got it exactly the way I want it to be. I'm going to tap on the plus sign in the bottom right corner in order to add a new slide, and basically all your slides get added exactly the same way. I'm going to again apologize for my lack of creativity, but here is slide 2. I'm going to go back to my blue image icon to show you some of the possibilities. I already showed you how you can add a solid colored background, but if I tap on that top left icon right here, that is how I can add an image. You have two choices when it comes to adding images. The first choice, if I tap on the camera icon right here, when I tap on it, I can choose an image from my camera roll. So I'm going to select an image, and of course, students or yourself would have wanted to choose those images ahead of time. If I go back to that menu, you have the ability to crop and resize this picture just by pinching or motioning over the picture with your fingers. Again, the text background can be on or off, and you can change the location of the text so that it doesn't get in the way of what it is that you're showing. So I will put it down here at the bottom. And that's all there is to it, to inserting an image from your own camera roll. I'm going to add another new slide by tapping on the plus sign in the bottom right-hand corner. And again, we'll call this slide 3. And I'm going to go back to my image icon, and you'll notice it says search, and you can search for an image. Haiku Deck is partnered up with a site called Flickr, where people submit their images for use. So if I go ahead and type in dog and type on search, it is going to bring up a bunch of images that other people have, or photographs that other people have taken. Here's kind of the cool thing about this. We try to teach our students about copyright and giving credit where credit is due, and Haiku Deck automatically embeds the image credit into the presentation with a Creative Commons license. So students don't have to cite their sources, and I'll show you where they'll be able to see that later on. I'm going to go ahead and tap on the picture that I want to include, and again, it can be moved and scaled however you might want to move and scale it. And again, I'm going to move my text out of the way so it doesn't cover too much of my picture. But as you can see, using this app, students can really tell a story through pictures. I'm going to tap on done, and I am going to add one more slide, and I am going to again go to the blue image icon, and this time I'm going to tap on this icon right here, which is the Create a Chart button. This isn't a complicated kind of chart feature. It does not involve any linked spreadsheets. It doesn't involve formulas. You can look for a link on the Tech Tip Tuesdays website that gives more details about working with the charts, but particularly for our younger kids, this is great for just dragging data points. So if I select this bar chart and I click on done, the students can simply edit the label and say, yes, I have a dog, no, I don't. And maybe they've done their own data collection. They can edit their X and their Y axis, minimum value, maximum value, and set their intervals. So they still can learn a lot about creating graphs, but all there is to it to creating the graph is literally dragging the data points. I'm not going to get into a ton of detail about how all of those graphs work, but I think you'll find just by clicking around, you're going to pick up on it pretty quickly. I am going to finish off with this presentation, and the upper right corner here is the play button. So this will show me what my presentation is going to look like, and I can just swipe back and forth to get an example of what other people are going to see. And that's all there is to it to previewing it. If I want to go back into edit mode, you're going to click on this pencil in the upper right corner. Now that you've finished your presentation, it is time to save it and share it. So I'm going to go ahead and go back into play mode, and using this icon right here, you are going to tap on that, and you now have the opportunity to save and share. I called it All About Dogs. You do have the opportunity to change the title if you wish. You have the option to change your privacy settings. Public means anyone can view it, anyone who goes to the Haiku Deck gallery or Haiku Deck website. Private means only you can view it, and restricted means that only those with a URL can view it. Select the categories that it fits into. This one isn't really education, but we'll go with it, and go ahead and click on the green Publish button. And this is now saving and publishing my deck or presentation. Now that it's published, if I go to the Haiku Deck website, you will see my fabulous All About Dogs presentation. This next pop-up window that you get, this save and share, allows you some additional sharing options. And for our students, Facebook really isn't much of an option that we want them to use. However, they do have the option to email it directly to you if that's something that might be helpful, and the web address is provided right within the email. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. They have the option to post it to a blog, and that's probably not the best description, because if you do tap on that option, it gives you the HTML code that can now be pasted into a website or a blog, and it would embed the presentation directly into that website or blog. There's an option for PowerPoint and Keynote. What it does is it generates an email with an attachment that you see down here, and this attachment can be opened with PowerPoint or Keynote. So if a student created this PowerPoint and then wanted to take it a step further by incorporating some music, they could work hand in hand together. And again, I'm going to delete that. And then they have the option to copy the URL. Right now, the URL for this presentation has been copied into the clipboard, and if I paste it somewhere, it will have that link right there for you. So as you can tell, it's a really, really easy tool to use to create a presentation, and there are lots of options for sharing the presentation once it's done. I'm going to go ahead and get out of that and head over to, off of the iPad, to the computer, where I'm going to go to haikudeck.com. And you sign in to haikudeck.com in much the same way that you sign in on the app. The difference is that now you can see your gallery. So all of the presentations that you created are there. You can also see which decks have been featured by Haiku Deck, and you can see the most popular that are there that have been submitted to the public version of Haiku Deck. And when you go to your presentation, you can click on it. It will show you how many views you had, and mine of course doesn't have any. But by clicking on it, I can actually add notes, and other people will see the notes that I've given. The embed feature is built into the website as well, and you also have the option here to download an Adobe Acrobat PDF copy of your Haiku Deck in case you wanted to provide this as a presentation handout or you wanted to provide it to students on your website. Hope you found this helpful. Haiku Deck is a great presentation tool for our students to use on the iPad. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. Have a great day.